The brand new Kruger P21 Wolf is here, and it's a big step forward for the lesser known ship producer. After years of focusing on snobs like the Merlin and Archimedes, Kruger is finally entering the fighter family. When it was first announced, many concerns were raised about the balance of this very small, agile, speedy ship. The light fighter itself does serve a limited role, but it did seem to sound a bit too good. Now that we have had our first real look at this ship, I can honestly say the Wolf is surprisingly good. Perhaps even a bit too good for its class. I wasn't expecting it to challenge the Anvil Arrow, but the Kruger Wolf seems capable of going toe-to-toe with it, depending heavily on the pilot's skills. For weapons, the P21 mounts 2 size 4 fixed ballistic gatlings and 8 size 1 missiles. The weapon's placement is tight along its hull, which helps it avoid massive spread like some of the other fighters suffer from. The gatlings, however, have a clear drawback. They have a spin-up time before reaching the peak DPS. Overheating is another concern, and unsustained fire. The weapons themselves also have a noticeable but short spread, while on the upside it carries a solid capacity of 4,200 rounds per weapon, so 8,400 total. In long fights, it can still feel restrictive. The missiles, though limited to size 1, are infrared and fast lock-on, making them effective distractions to break shields or deal a chip of damage. Not a primary kill tool, but very useful in right moments. Where the Wolf really overtakes the Arrow is its defenses. It features 2 size 1 shields, which can add up to an extra 1 to 2k HP. All depending on what type of shield you are using. It also comes with 2 coolers, power plant and quantum drive, all of course size 1 modules, which is typical for the light fighter class. Comparing directly to Anvil Arrow, the two ships are very similar in maneuverability, health and speed. The Arrow may have a slightly better lateral movement and rolling agility, while both are nearly equal in pitch rate, which happens to be the key factor for quick targeting. The Arrow also benefits from customizable hardpoints, 2 size 3s and 2 size 1s. The Wolf's locked-in dual size for gatlings make it powerful, but restrictive. With the weapon's spin-up time and your chances of fighting against equally agile target, reducing the amount of time you can get your aim on can affect your overall efficiency with the ship. Basically meaning that if you aren't very proactive, if you aren't very anticipating of what is going to happen when you're going to get your aim on, you may not be using the ship's weapons to their maximum efficiency. That being said, the Wolf's smaller profile may give it an edge in most dueling scenarios. It can outmaneuver large ships, apply pressure with its heavy-hitting gatlings, and still retreat or reposition with ease. Against medium ships or even single large ones, its agility can carry it far. Though limited by ammo capacity, it will have its long-term effects in prolonged combat. Yet in duels, I suspect that the Wolf will have an advantage over many of the other light fighters. I cannot say with certainty if it will beat Arrow, but the Arrow's advantage already was its small size, and the P21 is even smaller, by a very significant margin. It's at least 2 to 3 times smaller than the Arrow, and Arrow is already pretty small. Sure, it has some extending out wing parts, and it may be a bigger target from above or below. That is, of course, expected. So with any of the ships in Star Citizen, I truly think this one comes down to the pilot. Ultimately, the Wolf feels like a dedicated duelist. Its size 4 is devastating, but its restricted weapons flexibility, limited ammo, can only mean it excels in short, intense battles rather than prolonged engagements if you're enjoying the Arrow for its small size and agility. The Wolf might impress you even more as it delivers similar maneuverability in even smaller frame. From my own perspective, I enjoyed the ship quite a bit, especially when fighting against other light ships, other fighters. I did not enjoy it when I was taking on medium-sized ships like the Freelancers or Drake Cutlass Blacks, but against other small ships I enjoyed it quite a bit. Of course, this is Star Citizen, so balance changes are common to happen once the ship has been released and said to be either too strong or too weak. The new ships rarely stay in the exact state they launched in. Kruger P21 Wolf may see adjustments later, but as it stands, it's already one of the more competitive light fighters we've seen in a while. Even if you're not a fan of its fixed ballistic weapons, it's hard not to see the Wolf as an impressive and promising new entry. Perhaps giving us an option to swap around its weapons truly would make it the best ship, but for the time being I still think it will bite hard. But you probably should fly it yourself and see how good it actually is. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching!